All right, welcome everybody to another episode of Prem de la Creme. There's been a lot that has happened since the last time we spoke. Obviously, we left you guys with the Australia versus Egypt game on the verge of happening. A lot has happened in that game. We also left you guys with Argentina versus Cape Verde happening. Lots of people have considered that one of the best World Cup games of all time, let alone the best World Cup game this tournament, but that's still debatable. Then we got Colombia, Ghana, that also happened. Colombia progressed there. The Canada, Morocco, that happened just a couple of minutes ago. And we got a Canada boy in the building. I am just showing my allegiances, but I'm not Moroccan, as many people have called me Moroccan, though. And Egyptian, to be fair, but we have actual Egyptian below here. Let's get into it all, okay? Let's go from Pav down to Hamza to Mr. Mo. Pav, how are we doing today? How are we doing?
We're doing okay. We're doing okay. This has been the best World Cup that I've ever witnessed in my lifetime so far. That being said, heartbreaking loss for Canada today. They really played themselves proud. And yesterday, well, Cabo Verde also showing resilience, fight, being inspiration for literally every single nation on the planet. We've got a lot to get into today. I cannot wait to do it.
100%. And Mr. Hamza, how are we feeling? How are we feeling?
I agree, man. I agree. I know, obviously, as the tournament goes on, we'll be discussing less and less games, but I feel like the quality is just going up and up and up. And that game last night, honestly, I was going to go to the gym, and I said, you know what? No, I'll watch the Argentina game. And I was so disappointed for a while, and then, oh my God, it exploded into life. So I'm excited to talk about that, the Morocco game. And also, I didn't realize France playing today, and France have the easiest game. So I'm excited to talk about that with all of the boys.
And Mr. Mo, a man whose World Cup dream is well and truly still alive. How are we feeling?
Oh, I'm feeling great. I'm feeling great. Something I've never felt before. If I'm being honest, I feel a bit out of place because we're not supposed to be here. We're not supposed to be in the round of 16. But I'm happy, man. I'm happy, and I'm excited to talk about some of the games, like the France one. I have something in mind. I gotta say.
100%. I mean, we will be talking about some games that's yet to happen. Paraguay, France being one of them. We'll actually maybe start off with that preview, and then we'll get into the reviews. Right? We've got Brazil, Norway
I
to
reckon
preview as well.
No, I'll start with the reviews. Start with Argentina, then start with Canada, then the Argentina.
Oh yes, yeah. So let's get into that. So we're gonna start off with the game that just concluded now, Canada, Morocco. Pav, the feelings are still very raw, very new still. But why are we saying a 3-0 exit?
I saw a lot of people saying maybe Canada has a chance or against Morocco. I said 2 because I think that the match that Morocco played against the Dutch was an era-setting diaspora of the nation being able to actually outplay the Netherlands was a key concept from that game. Whereas with Canada versus South Africa, I thought that Canada very much played to South Africa's level, not actually below it at times. So I was very concerned going into this match. But actually the opposite happened. Canada outplayed Morocco throughout this game. I think they were able to, whenever they had the ball, which was not very frequently, get into Morocco's box a lot more reliably. And I think that was a huge credit to Jesse Marsh, who I think is really balanced between having the Canadian people, the Canadian players appreciate these moments, and trying to push on for something more. Yes, we're not France or Spain or Portugal. We want to enjoy these historic moments, but also we can try to so I think the Canadian national team was also huge. But Morocco's quality showed at the end. That being said, I'd be very concerned. I don't think that anybody has Morocco beating France in the next round, but it could be a 1-0, a 2-1 loss, or it could be a 3-0, 4-0, right? France, anything can happen. It's not the way they play today does raise a level of concern for Canada. Yes, the scoring was harsh, but
Yeah, I agree. I think it was a quality thing. But by the way, Pav, I think when you don't speak, just mute on StreamYard, mute on TikTok, just so there's not the background. By the way, your voice wasn't super clear either when you said that, but I heard what you said. I think Jesse Marsh.
I've got people right in front of me that are like.
I understand, bro.
That's
right. Yeah. But just letting you know, so you know. But yeah, no, I agree with you about Jesse Marsh. I think a lot of managers have gone out in this tournament and their stocks come way down. Jesse Marsh is like one of the only ones that isn't like their numbers haven't come down. You know, his stock's very much gone up. I think his performance, especially against the way he came back out against South Africa, the second half against Switzerland, when I know they lost that game, but I was impressed with how they came back. It was just a lack of quality, because against South Africa, when Alphonso Davies came on, it was like the quality inspired the whole team to just like entrench South Africa. Right. So hopefully in a couple of years' time, hopefully the quality goes up, because even towards the end, when you were 2-0 down against Morocco just now, the problem was the crosses were terrible. I think Schlotterberg or whatever his name is, number 14, your left back. Schaffelberg, yeah. He tried about 4 crosses and they all failed, right? And that's just like a quality thing. But the tactics to get you in those positions, I think was solid by Jesse Marsch. So you can leave with your head held high. And then, yeah, Morocco just had quality, man. Like, Morocco had quality. And I know you said a lot of people have them beating France. Mate, I think that game is going to be amazing. I actually am so excited for that game, because I think it'll be a lot closer than what people think. Because yes, France's players are better than them. Yes, France has quality to destroy any team, right? But you have to beat every team every game, right? That's how football works. That's how the knockout stages work, right? Do Morocco have the ability to stifle them? I absolutely believe that they do. Right, so it'll just be super England. I just read England. It'll be super interesting to see what happens in that game. I think that's going to be unreal.
Yeah, Mo, any comments, compliments to your North African brothers?
Morocco. If I'm being honest, it was a very expected result going into it. As much as you have to respect the way Canada's played throughout the tournament. To me, it was very obvious that if they do push Morocco, a team who has so much quality on the counter attack, and you do it as much as Canada did, they're going to concede, man. And they conceded, and they could have conceded more. Like that header at the end of the game, they could have conceded that as well. So I don't know. I've expected the results. I didn't expect them to play as poorly as they did. Not poorly, but I'm just going to say they got pressed in a sense that I didn't expect them to be. I didn't expect Canada to actually push Morocco that hard. But you push and you push and you push a team that's well renowned for its counter attack. You're gonna get caught out, and they got caught out 3 times, and they could have got caught out even more. So good result for Morocco. I'm happy for them. And I think they could do well against France. If France qualify, but they probably will.
Yeah, a lot of people do have France qualifying. And yeah, Morocco, I want to ask you guys, does this team, obviously now qualifying for the quarterfinals for a second successive World Cup after being knocked out in the semis to France, they're going to be versing France again. Does this Morocco team, maybe it's obviously the fact that we have our past data, does this team feel better than the one in 2022?
The Morocco team.
Yeah.
They feel better in terms of the quality of players they have at their disposal, but my big thing going into this matchup between them and France, again, we're assuming that France will win. But the quality of Morocco, the growth that they've had between 2022 and 2026, I think the bigger question is the gap between that quality as big as the gap between France's quality in 2022 and 2026? The attacking option that they have at their disposal, the growth of some of these players, like Michael Olise. I think that the gap between France then and now is bigger than the gap between Morocco and now, especially with the assault. And Saibati might be injured.
Yeah, I was about to say that.
Yeah.
That's a big loss. That Saibari, that's a really big loss. He was in street clothes by the end of the game, right? I didn't think, which was, I guess, a good sign that he could go onto the pitch. But yeah, if he's out of that game, that's then yeah, I would say the 2022 team is definitely better than them. Unahi stepped up today. I think in midfield, bro, they just stifled Canada so much that they had to go to the sides and the wings. And I know Alistair Johnson, I mean, a lot of the time is actually all right from crosses, but like when you stifle them to push it out through the wings, bro, it made it so easy for Morocco to play. Can you do that against a team with better quality? No, of course you can't. But if that midfield can stand up against France, then they've got all the chance in the world, because realistically their midfield is better than France's. You know, you're looking at Chouameni and Rabiot in that midfield and Olise in the 10. So I think that's going to be such a tactically interesting game. I'm so excited for it. I mean, obviously Paraguay could spoil the party, but I mean, I think we're all being real here in understanding that Paraguay are probably not going to spoil the party.
Yeah. I doubt it.
What do you think, Noaz?
On France, Paraguay?
No, in terms of like in terms of the question you asked, in terms of is Morocco better than Morocco in 2022, and do you think that they could serve a problem to France?
I think the 2022 team allowed me to watch more beautiful football. In my opinion, I think now this team is a lot more well structured and systematic. That team in 2022 was a bit more filled with mavericks, like Hakim Ziyech as well. I'm surprised that they're actually doing so well with him gone and Roman Saiz not being there as well. And if I'm not mistaken, I did see Sofian Amrabat in this team, but he's not actually starting or anything. But he is here.
He played today. He didn't start, but he did play.
Yeah. But obviously, he was a bit more of a prominent figure in 2022. So the fact that Morocco is still upping upping the quality each year, the likes of Ayoub also rising. I think Morocco is going to get better. And to be fair, if it wasn't France now in the quarters and had it been any other country, we would have probably seen them go to a semi-final again, guaranteed. If they somehow beat France, then you have to start thinking, oh my word, are Morocco going to win the entire World Cup? So this France game will be a good litmus test to see how good this team is compared to the 2022 one.
I definitely see, I can see a world in which they get to the final. I think when we were predicting it, I generally saw them looking like they might get to. I do see a world where they could beat France and beat Spain, right? I do, real talk, see that, because you don't need to be a better team overall to win on the day, Yeah. Morocco, time and time again, that in the big moments they can actually serve quality, bro. But yeah, man, I think this is just a quality thing. Morocco had way too much quality for Canada, so it'll be interesting to see how they play in the next round. But back to back, deepish knockout for Morocco. They won 2 last time. They won the round 16 quarterfinal. This time they won the round 32, round 16. So they won the same amount of knockout games as last time. So yeah, man, I'm excited, man. I'm so excited for that France Morocco game.
Yeah, and in terms of the quality, okay, I'll have to just double check who was the round of 16 team back in 2022.
They played Spain.
They beat Spain, then they beat Portugal, then they lost to France in the semifinals.
Sure, those are big nations. Because obviously them knocking out the Dutch is another big nation. As much as the Dutch, they were undefeated since 2010, but to keep on getting knocked out of penalties.
It's the way that they beat the Dutch, though. They beat the Dutch by being the better footballing team. Whereas back in 2022, they were a more solid, counter-attacking, defensive, smash and grab kind of side. Now things are different. The expectations have changed. So I think for them to have played that way against Canada, that's where the level of concern comes in is, okay, you're facing a way worse team than Spain, Portugal, France, and you're still really making a meal of it. Now again, the quality shone through because they have the individual players to beat that Canadian team. But it's the fact that they had to resort to that.
Yeah. For sure. But that concludes the Canada-Morocco segment. Let's talk about some of the reviews then. So, Pav, just wanted to confirm your attendance. You're still going to be here for a couple of reviews?
It's for the Cabo Verde review and the Argentina review. What other games are we going to go over? Or is that going to be
Colombia,
Colombia, Ghana.
Colombia, Ghana. I don't mind covering it for one quick second here if you just want to clip it up. But
yeah. Okay, even when you say this, can you maybe reduce or you can turn off the noise suppression? I think you'll sound clearer.
Okay. Let me just do. There we go. Does that work?
Yeah. That's it.
You guys can hear me? All right. For me, when I'm looking at the level of the teams that have competed at this tournament, not just in terms of the on-paper quality, Colombia come across as the third best team in this tournament, behind France and behind Spain. And I think a big thing that's going to play in their favor is not only the run that they have in this tournament, but I think where Argentina have this ability to compress the pitch, make it smaller to benefit their players. Colombia do the opposite. There is so much space across the field that they're able to create. I think that really empowers the players that they have, the likes of Luis Diaz, Luis Suarez off the bench. I thought that Juan Quintero yesterday was a man on fire. The debut, the cameo that he had was special to behold. I think he's a guy that can definitely light up for them. in the latter rounds when you really need a moment of quality. They also have this cohesion as well. I forget the coach's name. I'm going to look it up right now. But I think that he's been there for a while and he's done a great job. His name is Nestor Lorenzo. They had Colombia playing the best football in the Copa America this past tournament. I thought they should have won that. They were very unlucky to lose to Argentina. And I think that Argentina is declining. Colombia are still in the ascendancy. So keep an eye out for them. I think that they have a big part to play in this tournament. They could very well find themselves at their peak in a World Cup final.
Every World Cup does have that team. Obviously, Morocco being the 2022 version of probably this Colombia, because Colombia obviously beat Ghana. It means that they verse. Who do they verse now in the next round?
Which team?
Colombia.
They're facing Switzerland. So that's going to be a big game. It's going to be a huge test, too. Because they've already had to play against the likes of Portugal. They had to overcome Ghana, who are a tough team. And now they have to face Switzerland, which is another dark horse. If they can beat them, that's another case of iron sharpening iron. That's another thing as well. These teams that have these easy runs in the World Cup, they don't often benefit because they're not used to facing the quality of opposition that other teams in the tournament have. Colombia is one of those teams where they had a tough group. They had to both beat smaller teams that will sit back and beat teams like Portugal that will try and take the game to them. Switzerland are another example. They could very well be a way for them to prepare when those big matches come later in the tournament.
Yeah, completely agree. Anything you boys, Mo and Hamza, would like to add about Colombia 1, Ghana?
No, I mean,
I'm not gonna lie. I genuinely just completely didn't know that the game was happening when it happened. I was looking at my phone. I was like, how do I miss full-on World Cup game? I didn't even realize it happened until I woke up. I was like, oh, they played. So yeah, I only saw the goal. It was a nice goal. So yeah, hats off to them. But I do think Colombia will go on and beat Switzerland, and I do think whoever they face in the next round, they will beat as well. I agree with the fact that they're the third best team in the tournament. They've been playing some amazing football.
Who's 1 and 2, by the way, Pav? Just remind us.
For me, the order of quality of teams in this World Cup so far have been France at number 1, Spain at number 2, Colombia at number 3, Brazil at number 4. That's my ranking.
I think that's fair. I can hear it. Yeah, I mean, as with Mo, I didn't.
Sorry. France 1, Spain 2, Colombia 3, Mexico 4, Brazil 5. That's my top 5 teams in the tournament so far.
Mexico above Brazil.
Yes.
England have a tough task ahead of them.
They have a monumental task.
Yeah.
Do you actually believe Mexico's going to win 3-0?
I think that 3-0 may be a bit of an exaggeration, but I think the scoreline will be reflective of, I think, England's chickens coming home to roost from this tournament. Some of the selections that they've made, some of the football that they're trying to play. I think a big thing for that game, you guys will preview it, of course, is Tuchel is very clearly trying to build this team for a set style of conditions, which is more open transitional football that Harry Kane can feed runners into. But my big thing is considering the atmosphere, considering all the outside circumstances, plus the football that Mexico is trying to play, and then being comfortable in multiple different scenarios. They're not just a team that is high pressing, they're not just a team that's possession oriented. They're a team that can also sit back and hit you on the break. They can play a variety of different ways, and that's a testament to Javier Aguirre. I think that they can put together a game plan to really take advantage of the deficiencies.
Interesting.
I think that's fair. Mexico, I guess, have not conceded. I mean, I wouldn't put them above Brazil personally, but I think that list is fair. In terms of the Colombia-Ghana game, yeah, they are impressive. I just don't know about, like, the thing I don't understand about this World Cup is that there's so many games. Obviously, there's one game extra than there is usually, right? Which means that there's a bigger margin for error. There's a lower margin for error because you have to be good in more games, but I guess that's the same for everybody. I don't know, man. I think the overall quality of Colombia, it'll be interesting to see how they play in the last couple, like as they go deeper, because I fully expect if they play Argentina to beat them, right? But I think that game is going to be the ultimate, like, where we go, either Colombia are serious and are seriously a problem, or they just had a good run, because like if they beat Argentina and the way they beat them, right? Oh my God, like that changes everything for me. Obviously they've got to beat Switzerland. But like that for me is like the ultimate litmus test, because Colombia are one of the teams that have to prove to me and to millions and billions of other football fans around the world that they're good. They're not like one of the powerhouses that don't really need to prove it as much.
See, the thing is, they won't obviously beat Switzerland. That's what makes it such an interesting match. Is that in itself is a huge game. Can they overcome Switzerland? They're a very solid tactical team. The other thing with Colombia is some of their players. Yeah, you've got Diaz, and you've got Munoz, and you have Luis Suarez, who recently has been broken out in European football. You've got other guys like John Arias, who prior to his move to Wolves was really good in Brazil. They've got Juan Quintero.
He's so good in Club World Cup, Arias.
Yeah. You've got Juan Quintero, who was always touted to be this big player, but never really blew up in Europe. You've got these guys that I think demonstrate that football is a continental game, and you have to pay attention to that part of the game more. And it's one thing for you to move, so say, for example, John Arias from Fluminense to Wolves, right? From a team where you're expected to win most of your games to a team where you're not. Some players are just naturally more inclined for that front-facing football, and that's an example of that. Putting them into that environment where they try and play that way versus Wolverhampton Wanderers where you're on the back foot. It's not what worked best for them. So that's the thing, is I think the difference in environment shows what some players are more good in certain spots than others.
No, 100%. 100%. It's like boxing, bro. Styles make fights. And if you put the players in the right systems, that's why every single tournament there's an underdog story, because they're put in a system that gets the best out of them. And teams that have higher quality won't necessarily always put them in the right system to get the best out of them. And hence why a Morocco last time would beat a Spain, or a Morocco last time would beat a Portugal, or a Cabo Verde would actually do Spain. Do Spain. They drew them 0-0, you know? It's just like the way that football is. But yeah, I mean, in terms of Colombia, Ghana, that's all I really have to say on that.
Yeah. No, yeah, Bev?
Oh, no, Argentina.
Yeah. I was going to get to that, yeah. So
I thought he was going to give us a sue, bro. Look, I thought he was winding up the most aggressive sue for no reason.
No, anytime I do this, what I mean is on to the next. That's always I mean, on to the next.
On to the next. On to the next, indeed. Obviously, Argentina winning 3-2. Cape Verde scoring more goals on the night, but obviously losing because one of their goals was an own goal. But it was a very good game. Very good game. In terms of quality of goals, like even Lionel Messi's first goal, the way I saw that goal happening, right? I don't know if you guys picked it up also. So obviously Cape Verde set up quite well. We said the first 20 minutes will be very, telling on how the rest of the game will be. Argentina gets an early goal. It'll mean Argentina probably run away with it. If Cape Verde can box them in and make sure that they don't score, then it will be a tough game. So Cape Verde rode their wave, within the first 20 minutes. Messi and Lionel Scaloni both picked up on what is going on. I don't know if you guys noticed, Messi was speaking to Scaloni the whole time, and then 2 minutes after the hydration break, Lionel Messi baits a run to make it seem as if he's going to be receiving a ball in front of the low block. He then does a run in behind, and then Lisandro Martinez executes it perfectly, and that's how they end up scoring. Was that Lionel Messi's IQ on display, or do you think it was just, it was a good piece of play? Or do you think that was a sign of adaptability within the game? I'm going to go to Pep first.
I think it was a pure sign of know-how. I don't want to glaze Messi too much, but that being said, if you can see him in the tunnel, or not in the tunnel, in the huddle, gesturing over the top, and other players gesturing as well, then it is, Leo giving that insight, and obviously Lionel Scaloni knowing just how much football Lionel Messi's played, is going to heed that advice and that feedback. So it represents Argentina's strengths as a team, which is their cohesion and their belief in one another and their willingness to feed off of each other. But I think the rest of the game showed Argentina's weaknesses.
Oof. Now, Hamza, do you know what those weaknesses are, or are we going to need Pep to elaborate? Or can you tell me what the weaknesses are?
I was actually interested before I said it for him to explain what the weaknesses are. So I'm going to actually deflect and throw this back to Pav. So you can finish this out.
Pep, what are those weaknesses?
I think the weaknesses are Argentina's lack of attacking edge, a lack of intensity. Yes, they work hard all over the pitch, What I mean more so, just in terms of their attacking impetus, you look at the young core that they had in the 2022 World Cup. Julian Alvarez, Enzo Fernandez, Alexis McAllister, Christian Romero. You knew in that 2022 World Cup that the next World Cup was not guaranteed that Messi would play. It was not guaranteed that Angel Di Maria would play. He would likely retire. Vinicius Hernandez would likely no longer. But you were expecting those four to step up and to become world-class players and to demonstrate at elite level in those guys instead. And instead what we're getting is guys that seem slower, weaker, less technical, less instinct on the pitch. So I think it's become a real problem. And I think as much as Scaloni wants to play his narrow style, I have to give credit to this guy. Nicolas Gonzalez in the match did really well at stretching the pitch, trying to get in behind players, dribble them, go face up and try and get in behind. So I think that was the biggest problem for Argentina, was a lack of dynamism, really, from the team.
No, I agree. I do feel like they were a bit slow. I think in the first game, it was so the opposite. I feel like it was super fast, and it was against Algeria. They were super fast, they were super liquid, and even though there wasn't too much attacking talent outside of Messi, right? But then since then, I feel like they've gotten a bit slower, and I agree with Pav's point. But I mean, the big thing for me, I mean, obviously as a Chelsea fan, I look at Enzo, right? If Enzo has a good game and he's the engine, he can change your game. He can change the speed of your game, right? But when he's playing slow and turgid as he is right now, he can be the absolute anchor for your team, in my opinion. Right, because I feel like he's like the setter of the level, you know. But Lisandro Martinez, one thing I want to say about him is like, wow, bro, the brother has hardly played in the Prem for like the last 2 years, and he's been so good this World Cup. Right, the ball in of itself, to pull that off is just disgusting. His goal was pretty nice. I know he was a bit lazy on Cape Verde's first goal, but man, this tournament I've been really impressed, really impressed with him.
That goal, how many strikers can set a ball that quickly and shoot it like that? Not many. So for a center back to do it like that is impressive.
Yeah. But Mo, ultimately, Cape Verde, they came up short. Right? Good effort, though. Good effort. Yeah. What are we saying about Cape Verde?
I'm not saying about Cape Verde. I'm not gonna lie. It's a respectable. Like, can't really say anything else, but it's a fully respectable performance. Like, you're not expecting them to even do what they did this World Cup. They're coming up against the current world champions, and they're ballsy. They're trying to go for it. They're going for it. They're trying to defend. Vozinha, honestly, you know, I hadn't watched any of their games like fully. I hadn't watched him like in action, but the some of this game, like, the guy's actually good for a 40-year-old keeper. Like, that free kick. I know. Keepers in their prime that are just freezing there. They're not going back from the far post running to the near post and saving them. So genuinely, that guy's a crazy keeper. But I'm not gonna lie, I was impressed with, as hard as it is for me to say, I was impressed with Lisandro Martinez. Because that ball over the top from a guy like him, and then that finish, and the second I saw that finish, I was like, we have Omar Marmoush, who's literally fucking ass, man. Just needs to retire. He's been so shit for us. I'm sorry, but he's been so bad. I can't finish a 1-on-1 with a keeper. And you got this centre back just putting it perfectly, top bin from that angle. Who even? I don't know, man. I was so impressed with the guy, and yeah, I wish he was our striker in Egypt, not a centre back in Argentina. Yeah, exactly. But it was a good game overall. That's all I'm gonna say. And it's a shame Cape Verde didn't go through, because I think we have a better chance at beating an African team, because we faced a lot before. But yeah.
Bro, if they'd been Argentina, Loki, if they'd been Argentina, you don't go into that game favorites. I know you have way more quality than them. You have Salah, Marmoush, and them, man. But bro, like, if they'd beaten Argentina, because I'll be honest, the thing about Cape Verde, we could talk about Argentina like till the cows come home, but Cape Verde, man, like I said before the game, Argentina would win when we did our preview, Noaz, but Cape Verde shoot, bro. Against Saudi and Spain and Uruguay, bro, they shoot. They just shoot. That's all they do. They just shoot. And to their detriment, at the very end, there was a couple of chances where they could have played them in, and they just shoot. They see the Instagram followers. Yeah. A guy who is 100% going to get the Instagram followers is Cabral. right? And that goal for a left back, what he did,
Yeah.
bro, was insane, right? He
Goal
cuts in on his
tournament.
right. I mean, everyone's seen it. Yeah, he cuts in on not Cabral, sorry. Yeah, Cabral, sorry.
Cabral,
It was
Um,
Cabral.
Yeah, Cabral. Bro, he cuts in as a left back on his right and whips it top in. Oh my God. The finish was ridiculous. I was thinking, and it's funny because every game is like, it seems to be a new goal of the tournament. That is like unreal, bro. And then the fact that obviously Messi crosses the ball in and it's a handball, it goes in, and that's the ending was horrible, bro. Was absolutely like heart wrenching because I would have loved a Vozinha versus Emi Martinez penalty shootout. That would have been just like, that would have been the
Cinema.
moment, probably the moment of the World Cup, bro. Because Vozinha has a fucking cock on him. I'll be honest. Like his sweeper keeping, the way he's saving, the way he's passing out from the back, the way he's gesticulating his team, bro. He's got a fucking
disguising his passes also.
oh mate, he's got a fucking Frankfurter on him. Trust me, bro. Like that guy, unbelievable, bro. Trust me, unbelievable. I love that guy. You know, like I was a bit hating on him after the first game because I was a bit like Mac. I was like, his saves weren't that great, but bro, the way he's like actually carried his team in terms of like the confidence. After I've seen Alphonso Davies, the confidence and the quality affect his team. I really appreciated Vozinha more, right? Because I was like, you know what, the confidence and the quality is really helping them to be like, you know what, we can do anything going forward because we have this guy at the back.
You know what? If I went from 50K to 12 million, 20 million followers in the space of a
20,
week,
yeah.
I too would have the confidence of Alexander the Great, basically, the way that he was leading that team. But it's special to see what Cabo Verde is doing. It's one of those moments, and it's very rare to see in this sport. It's one of those moments that transcends it and goes into greater pulp culture globally. Everybody knows about this story. People that I know that I didn't realize were that into football. They watch Cabo Verde and they talk about it and they post about it. And it's one of those things that just transcends sport itself. It's incredible to watch. And I think the best part about this story too is that this is not the end. This is the furthest thing from it because Cabo Verde have a huge diaspora, not only globally, but especially in Portugal, where in my opinion, Portugal are a hotbed of future footballing talent. And they now know about the story of Cabo Verde. So these young kids that have connections to that country, they may not make the national team. They may even pull a Morocco unless they have the opportunity to play for Portugal. They want to represent Cabo Verde instead. Guys like Moon Menj, if they came along now, would they have their heads turned by that opportunity? So Cabo Verde are far from done. This is just the beginning for this nation. So I think the way that they put themselves on the map for everybody has been special, and I can't wait to see that the 2030 World Cup as well. I would put a lot of money expecting them to be there.
I hope so, man. I hope so. And one big thing, man, was the reaction of the players at the end. It wasn't crying because, like, it wasn't just like, you know what, round 16, we lose to Argentina. It was crying because they believed we can beat these lot. After that Spain game, they believed. They really, really believed. They're like, you know what? Like, they're going to have to rip us out this tournament. We're not just going to leave. They have to take us away from this tournament. Like, the belief there was just like, oh, man. And obviously, I'll be honest, that clip where the kid is crying and then his dad, one of the players, goes over and the kid consoles him, bro. Even for me with a black heart, bro, with a heart that's frozen over, any man with a frozen heart, bro, that would have broken him because the way that he's looking after his dad, I was like, bro, that's the World Cup, man. That's so beautiful. Like, he's so upset and he's looking after his. It was just, oh mate, that for me was the moment of the World Cup. Real talk.
I'm seeing this right now. I know the script writers are cooking up something devious. That kid is going to be in the World Cup in like 20 years. He's going to score a goal, and they're going to be posting about throwback to when insert player scored in the tournament, and then 20 years ago he was consoling his father after they went out against Argentina. All right, my friends are here. I got to hop off, but it was great talking to you guys. What a podcast.
Thanks so much for joining us.
Bro, anytime. All right.
Good to see you, bro. Enjoy your night.
I will.
Big Bev signing off. Thanks so much, man.
Signing off.
But yeah, man, Cabo Verde, they are the story of this World Cup.
Yeah.
Honestly, it's a beautiful, like the way they played, the way their fans are, the way that they are is just like unbelievable. I actually had the chance to go to Cape Verde in March and I didn't take it because I was like, why would I go? This is what I thought. I thought this tiny island, why is it so cheap to go there? It's kind of a bit sus because basically it's like off the west coast of Africa, right? It's like
Yeah.
it's like a triangle.
Yeah.
Portugal's here, Africa's there, and then it's just like this tiny little island. Cape Verde is this tiny little island in the middle of the Pacific Ocean, and I was like, if I get stuck here, I'm stuck, bro, right? But I'm
Yeah.
so like, sometimes we make mistakes in life. I should have gone there, bro, because man, like the way they
Prices
performed,
are
the
gonna
way
go up
everything
now.
transpired. Yeah, bro.
Yeah, prices are
man.
going up now. Genuine.
It was honestly the flight from the UK was £200. It was £250 there and back. And I was, oh mate, I had the opportunity to go. I didn't go, but yeah, man, Cape Verde, shout out there, man. Genuinely, I would have loved them to play Egypt. Honestly, I would. To be honest, not even playing Egypt. I just wanted the penalty shootout. Vozinha versus Emi Martinez. That would have just been like, I don't even care what would have happened. That would have been cinema. Absolute
And
cinema.
you just know he was gonna save something, man. You just know he was gonna save something. Both of them as well. They were both gonna save something.
Yeah,
So, yeah.
honestly. But you know what? There was a game that did go into penalty shootout, and it was Egypt against Australia. Now, obviously, we got an Egyptian here in the building. Let him unpack this game. Must have been a very nerve-wracking game. Ultimately, came out on top. Mo, what are we
man.
saying?
Honestly, man, I've never been this nervous for a football game in my life. Possibly the second most nervous I've ever been after City Inter Milan in the final. But Egypt against Australia, I've never in my life seen a team just play football the way you think volleyball should be played. They literally just boot the ball in the air and just try and go for a header over and over and over again. And we just don't get the headers because our team is short as hell. So it was literally just 120 minutes of watching us hold the ball, and then we lose the ball. Australia just boot the ball upwards, and it just kept bouncing over and over again. I think we played a lot better than they did. I think we expected what's the word? I'm going black. We deserved the result. I think we were genuinely the better team on the night, but Muhammad Hani, man, our right back. My guy is going for the wrong golden boot, man. He's out there scoring own goal. His second own goal in the tournament. I think he broke it. He's like he tied the record now. I hope he scored.
Probably Jamie Carragher,
yeah.
No,
I hope
Jamie
he scored
Carragher is
one against
outright, man,
Argentina
outright.
as well. We just beat Argentina 3-1 with Muhammad Hani scoring the goal against us, so he breaks the record. But yeah, it was an amazing game. Did you guys see the last second save from the Australian keeper in the 93rd minute? That was crazy. Like my heart sank to wherever, man. I was literally I thought I was going in. And yeah, the penalties is something else. I wouldn't wish it on my worst enemy, man. I don't want to see another penalty shootouts in the World Cup with Egypt in it, because we had a bad track record with whether it was Senegal or Congo or whoever we played in the past. We always have a bad track record. So yeah, I was just happy we won, and it's just nice to see everyone celebrate. And I posted a video about just me. It was an Egyptian song, and I was singing the Egyptian song, and the amount of love I got from just other nations, man, Algeria, Morocco, Pakistan, Tunisia, literally all over. It was just lovely to see everyone celebrate with us. But I wanted to know what you guys thought of the game, because I was just stressed, man. I didn't see it from a tactical point of view. I just saw it from an emotional point of view.
No, that's fair, bro. That's fair. I mean, the first 45 minutes, I think you controlled it from start to finish, right? I know that number five was threatening. I'll be honest. I don't know what his name was. The guy who came off halftime. He was very, very threatening, that number 5. But you guys did control the midfield a lot, and you controlled a lot in the first half. And all I was thinking was just kill this game. Kill this game in the first half while you have them, right? And yeah, that save in the 90th minute, bro, that would have been, I can imagine that would have been just like, oh God, is this our opportunity gone, right?
And
but you guys stuck in there.
Miss that chance in the beginning of the first half. Honestly, man,
he's an interesting fella.
Dog, man.
But because
I'll be
honest,
he's bad. He's just bad. I've been saying this. Listen, man, I tried to rep the guy because people keep saying I look like Omar Marmoush, so I tried to rep him as hard as I can. But honestly, man, since this guy is signed for Manchester City, he's just been absolute dog. Please do not clip me saying this, because then I'm gonna get clipped by because I've been trying to back the boy. But honestly, man, he's just so I don't know, like for a striker that gets paid 300K a week, you're expecting at least a shot on target, man. Like you're going 1-on-1 with the
Do
keeper.
you
know how
know?
big?
He had a chance in the first half. He got a shot on target. No.
I think it's hit the defenders, and their defenders were so tall, man. They were blocking everything. I'm
Harry
not sure.
Shooter. Bloody hell.
Yeah, probably. But yeah, this guy just needs to just hold the bench. And yeah, one more thing. Did you guys see Haitham Hassan, the guy that got subbed on towards the end of the second half? This guy basically pulled the Morocco. It's the first time in Egypt's history where a player chooses Egypt over another country. I think he could have played for France. That guy is so Lamine Yamal coded, man. He literally the same feints, the same skill moves, the same everything. It didn't look like we had an Egyptian player on the field, genuinely. It looked like we just got someone else from another nation. This guy was crossing exactly like Lamine Yamal. I don't know how he's held the bench for this long, but one to watch, genuinely. Next game, if he does start, you guys have to see him. He plays on the right.
He plays on the right. Well, he might start because I know obviously Salah had a knock before the game. I don't know if where his knock is at now. I hope he's at full fitness, man. I need a fully fit Mohamed Salah, bro. That would be such a fun thing to see. But yeah, no. But the penalties, bro, I'll be honest, I can't remember much apart from thinking Egypt were really good. That's what I remember thinking. First off, Egypt were really good. And they pushed for that goal. But man, those penalties for Australia, I don't know what the hell they're doing. Putting Harry Suter as the first penalty, and he puts it bro, not even row Z, man. He put that so we're talking about Gabriel. I'm talking Gabriel, Jonathan Tah, and Harry Suter, bro. Gabriel, I thought was the worst penalty ever. But he's slowly going oh, not that bad. Oh, it's actually an okay penalty. Because Harry Suter, Jonathan Tah, those are two of the worst penalties I've ever seen. Genuinely, two of the worst penalties ever. Yeah, bro. First time as well. He was the first penalty taker. I don't know why he's been given the first penalty.
I don't understand why you wouldn't put your specialist on the first penalty ever. Because it sets the tone for the rest of the shootouts. You've scored first, you have good momentum. So why are you putting up? How tall is he? Is he the guy that's 190?
Yeah, he's 6'5". Yeah, he plays for Stoke.
Yeah,
he's a big bastard.
It doesn't make sense for him to shoot the ball. He's only good for headers, man.
Yeah, I didn't get that. But I think it's more of a confidence thing, right? Who's confident to take a penalty? Oh, you are? Okay, take it. And then even that young lad, they had 3 defenders take penalties, by the way. 3 defenders.
Yeah.
They played 5 penalties, right? I'm
I think we did as well. I think we had 4 people, 4 defenders.
Was it?
Which is it was so weird. The first guy I didn't even know he took penalties. Apparently he's the specialist in the team. I didn't even know. Because he just never plays.
Who's the attacker that scored, huh? Who's the attacker that did a cheeky little dinky madinky? Stared at the keeper straight afterwards. And he stared at the keeper and kept on looking as running, staring at him, smiling. I was like, you're a prick. You are a prick.
It was a tiny bit stuffed. I would have loved to see it just go down the middle like the Karim Benzema against us, against City. But it's still a penalty. I'll take it any day of the week, and it gives us some confidence. If we can just go into a game and be as cold as that, just go into the next game and just do the same, man. Just have nerves of steel, man. Just go for it and do what Cape Verde did. I think it's the whole game and just what Cape Verde did as well. This gives us so much confidence going into the next game because you see a team like Cape Verde and you obviously have better quality than Cape Verde. It's not even comparable. Let's really look at the names and everything. So we could put up a fight against Argentina. I'm hoping that we do. And our manager, man, how has he turned a team of, for lack of a better word, a team of bums, man? A team of literally do not want to run, that do not want to commit to a tackle, that are scared to get injured. To a team that's literally just putting everything on the line, they're playing together as well. We never used to have that. You just love to see it, man. Just love to see it. I wish South Africa was in the tournament as well, man. I wish we were all still in the tournament. But yeah,
it's okay. We are on the same level as Germany and Netherlands. It's fine.
Yeah,
yeah,
and that shit as well. Yeah, you're just better than all of us. But boys, I do have to leave. So let's go through the 3 previews. Really quick. I'm just going to ask you for a couple of maybe a question or 2 and your score prediction. So let's go Paraguay, France first. We'll start off with Hamza. What are your thoughts for this game and what's the score prediction?
I think Paraguay are actually defensively pretty good. But I don't think they'll be the team to stop this attack. I don't think it'll be a rout. I think it's going to be a 2-0. Not sure who's going to score, but I don't think this is going to be the team that completely stops France, but I think they will blunt them a little bit. So, yeah, I'm going to go 2-0 France.
Mo?
I'm not gonna lie, I don't feel like France is Germany at all. I think they're more defensively in tune. I think they're more dangerous in the attack. Obviously, they're that team that just looks like they go in there and play football for fun and score goals doing so. And Paraguay haven't had like that team face them yet. Like you can argue the only team that's done that against them is the US, which isn't really comparable to France. So I'm just seeing another France beating of a team. I'm going with them, but yeah, that's 3 or 4-0 even.
Yeah, I'm going to back 3-0. I do think France probably have a very comfortable game here. So we'll have to wait and see what happens there. Next up will be Brazil versus Norway. Haaland versus Vinicius. That's happened a couple of times over the past couple of years. So I'll start off with Norway.
I'll let you go first. Yeah, I'll let you go.
Okay, go first. Okay, I just want to say one thing. I hate watching Haaland versus Gabriel because it's just not football. Like Gabriel is just he doesn't play football. It's gonna be another wrestling game in the front. But what I will give him is that he does neutralize Haaland in a sense. He limits his movements, he limits his runs, he limits everything. And the Norwegian defense as well is just absolutely not as good as anyone else. I don't believe that their defense can put up against Brazil and especially Vinicius. I'm thinking potentially Brazil breeze past Norway, but if Haaland does score a goal or two, I wouldn't be surprised either because we're talking about Haaland here. You never know. He needs like a touch or two to score 2 goals. So I'm gonna go with like a 2-2, and then it goes to pens and Brazil win.
I did forget that it's Gabriel Haaland. I did genuinely, when I put my prediction out, I think it went 2-2. Or no, 3-2 Brazil, right? I did forget about that. Because that's going to be huge, bro. Because yeah, you're right. It's not going to be football. And the way it's been refereed, bro, I think they're just going to let it run complete. I think this could be like a proper dogfight between those two. Vinicius is obviously unbelievable. So is Bruno. But that midfield is a little bit lightweight. I mean, it'll be interesting to see if Neymar starts, right? If Brazil click, bro, Norway are not getting close to them. But if Norway can stifle them ever so slightly, Odegaard can control the midfield a little bit. Where Casemiro fails, Odegaard comes in. That's what we need. If Norway are going to do anything, that's what we need, right? But I will go for a high-scoring game. I think it's going to be 3-2 Brazil. I think they'll get the job done just about. I think this will probably be game of the round. Yeah, that's what I would go with. But if I saw Norway in the next round, I wouldn't be surprised, and it would actually be super interesting. But I'll be honest, I'm only really backing Brazil because I'd love England-Brazil. I think that's just like that's football heritage. Where, like, as an England fan and knowing about England, like my granddad supports England, all that sort of stuff, right? Like being taught about England, 1970, the game against Pele, like 2002, Ronaldinho. I need another edition of that. It's been too long. So yeah, I'll go 3-2 Brazil.
Yeah, I back you 100% there. I'm also going for a 3-2 Brazil. I think, Haaland being on Norway gives them the 2 goals, but Brazil obviously having the likes of Vinicius and even Cunha not having a bad World Cup, cheeky little World Cup for Cunha also. And yeah, I think ultimately Brazil just have more quality on the field, so that's why 3-2, but it will be a tight encounter for sure.
But look at it like this, though. Vinicius before had so much pressure, right? Because he'd done nothing for his national team. Now, within 4 games, he's completely flipped that narrative, right? Shows the quality of the man. So it'll be crazy to think that he wouldn't continue on that path. And he's already got 4 goals. He could potentially even win Golden Boot. Who knows?
Yeah. I think, if he scores again and has a good game here, then he's definitely in contention. If he goes to the final, he's one of those guys, like, he'll win the golden ball because he made it to the final, even if he loses the final. Depends on who he loses to. It's one of those ones. But then, the last game, which will be Monday, 2 o'clock in the morning, but technically, or is it? Or is that too far out? Is that actually too far out? Yeah, it's actually too far out. We'll talk about that. Well, we can touch on it though. Mexico,
But
England.
we're not having a show tomorrow, by the way.
Yeah,
We're
we
not
don't
having
have a show.
tomorrow.
Yeah, so we can just touch
Yeah,
on
so we can
Mexico,
touch on it.
England.
Yeah, we can do a preview on it. I mean, in terms of England, Mexico, I am aware of your timing, but there is a couple of things I want to say about this. But I mean, obviously the time not changing is a bit annoying. I'll be honest. Like I'll be up until minimum 3 a.m. when I have to be up for work at 7. That's not going to be enjoyable. I know people talk about the altitude and whatnot. I mean, bro, they've been in America for 4 weeks already. You know, if they're not used to the heat and like warm weather and the changes in environment, bro, like they've got up to this point. I don't think that's going to be that much of an issue. The thing that I think is an issue is the way that Mexico play. Mexico will stifle England a lot. I think, as Pav said, they won't let them play the transitional game that they want to do, which will be super interesting. I want to see Morgan Rogers step up a little bit, though, because I've been thinking about it the last couple of days. You don't take Foden, you don't take Gibbs-White, you don't take Palmer for Eze and Rogers, right? And obviously, there's a lot of tournament to go. But those two schmucks need to do something because so far they have done absolutely fucking nothing. Like, genuinely, they have done nothing. I'm not saying, like, they're the be-all and end-all, but when I think about the squad selection, right, you can't leave out Palmer, Foden, and Gibbs-White, and the two guys that come into the team are just do nothing, bro. Genuinely, those two have done absolutely nothing. The only redeeming quality is Eze. When Saka was at right wing and Declan Rice was at right back, there was a little bit of connection there. Outside of that, bro, there's been absolutely nothing. But yeah, Kane's not going to go out this round. I know Pav selected 3-0 against Mexico. And I know Mexico are one of two teams that haven't conceded this whole tournament. But come on, man. I think England will have way too much of them. I think Rice and Anderson will be key in terms of winning that midfield battle. I think having two road runners, basically, that can collect the ball, won't progress the ball super high, right? But will be able to kind of like do a little bit of interplay. I think it's going to be really important. And I think that's what's going to change the game. Defensively, I'm not 100% confident. I hope Reece James is back for the game tomorrow. That'll be a huge boost. If we have a back line of Reece James, Nico O'Reilly, John Stones, and Mark Gahey, I'm very confident in that defense. If there's any changes to that, then I start to get a little bit shaky.
Yeah. Mo, what are we saying? What are we saying?
I mean, I'm not gonna lie, ever since that Croatia game, I keep hearing England has too much for them, but then a 0-0, the quality on display there. Like if you put the names in comparison to the quality of football you're getting, literally nothing. And then you got the Panama game, which they also struggled a little bit to score it. You got the was it Congo, where they just looked genuinely abysmal. Like because I see these players on a weekly basis. I watch them on a weekly basis in the Premier League. And that's not the quality of football they play. So I don't understand whenever they get together as a group, how do they play that bad? And then the defense wasn't solid either against Congo, in my opinion. I just thought they were having a shaky day as well. And is it actually the team or is it the selection? Because as you said, why are you taking Morgan Rogers and not taking an experienced player like Phil Foden, for example, or Cole Palmer? It doesn't matter how much. How bad their form is or like how out of form they are, but you should be taking these experienced players for games like these. So I'm not really sure about saying that England will beat Mexico because Mexico, have they conceded? They haven't conceded a goal yet, no?
No,
yeah, no, they haven't conceded a goal.
Teams. And only Spain haven't.
Yeah, and they play like really, really attractive football to watch. But the one thing I will not give Mexico is that they haven't played a team that you can actually look at and think, oh, that's like a mad one that they went in and beat that team. They haven't played a team like that yet. Maybe Ecuador was the closest thing, South Korea, but South Korea was out of form. So I just don't think they've played a team as big as England yet. So I'm not really sure which way to go because on one hand, you have a team that haven't played a big team yet, but are overperforming. And then you have another team that should be performing extremely well, but are just lackluster so far. So I'm going to go with another draw. And then it goes to extra time. I'm not even going to say it reaches penalties because I'm not sure. But I think the game will not end at 90 minutes.
But what I would say by the way, Mo, right? Mexico are the kings of leaving in the round of 16, right? They got the round of 32 win. They're the kings. I think there's a stat. I think they've gone out in the round of 16 every tournament since 1998, something like that, right? They did the kings of going out in the round of 16, right? I'm not really worried about Mexico. I'm more worried about England because you're right. They haven't played to the level that quality suggests that they have, right? And I know you said like, oh yeah, they've got too much quality for them. I'm not going to follow that. Well, I mean, just put it fairly, right? We have beaten every team apart from Ghana, right? And if we're predicting based on what's going to happen after 60 minutes, yeah, fair enough. I can agree with you thinking England might not win. But England have proven, thanks to two men, right, that it doesn't matter what happens. They will get over the line. And that's Jude Bellingham. And I mean, Harry Kane, I think that Congo performance
absolutely crazy.
Down in history. And it's mad because it's Congo, right? So it's like, oh, you should beat Congo, right? But the first goal just to force its way in, right? And the second goal where he wrapped it. I'm sorry, bro. I can already see that going down in history, right? Like for me, crazy take, but I genuinely believe that Harry Kane is England's best ever player. For me, he's a best ever player. He's got 74 goals, I believe, which is more than anybody else. Yes, he's played more than anybody else. He's played at more World Cups. He's done more than a Lineker at a World Cup, done more than a Rooney at a World Cup, done more than a Gerrard, done more than a Lampard, done more than Bobby Charlton even, right, at a World Cup. I know Bobby Charlton obviously won the World Cup, and there's nothing much more that you can do that. But Harry Kane, for him to, I feel like it's almost a feather in his cap that he's lost to so many times for Tottenham, lost tournaments, not turned up in big games, whatever you can say about him, and to still just carry on and just be that great and drag his team through like when he needs to. Like Gordon's reaction to Kane's goal was like the epitome of what every England fan thinks of him. I don't know if you saw it. Kane scores, he runs off to the corner and he's just going like, that's literally, he's doing that just like, I can't believe what I'm seeing, right? That's what he's saying. Is just like, I genuinely can't, like, there's nothing to say. When somebody does that, you're like, okay, I'm cold. And somebody does that to you, like, okay, cool, I'm sick. Whatever I'm doing, it allows that reaction. Like, I'm just sick, bro. But yeah, I think it's England versus England at this point, right? And we have to go deep in this tournament. We cannot go out to Mexico, right? So I'm almost manifesting it as well. So with that being said, I feel like it's not going to be an easy game, but we will get past Mexico. I do believe that. And I believe we'll get there before penalties.
Yeah. All right. Interesting.
Was? What do you think?
I think, there's an old stat also about Mexico being undefeated for so long or losing, like, what is it, 12% or less at the Azteca.
2 games at the Azteca, I think. Yeah.
Or 2 games, bro. Like, for me, I think that's all, it depends on who you're versing also. Like, most of those opposition, I think majority of the games they played there was against Jamaica over 16 times. So I'm not going to take that stat and make it seem like it holds any sort of weight. So this England team, I don't see them, leaving in the round of 16. No one would have. You could have asked everyone to predict the World Cup. No one would have really said England get knocked out in the round of 16, especially not to Mexico. England were one of, I think, the top 4 teams heading into the World Cup. France, Spain. England for me was always there in the favorites conversations, and then the 4th was always the lingering between Brazil and Portugal and all these other teams. But England, I think they should get the job done here. Harry Kane for me is on a Ballon d'Or campaign right now. He's proven it time and time again this season. Scored in every knockout game in every competition he's played for, in the Pokal, in the Champions League, now in the World Cup as well. So Harry Kane for me he doesn't stop here. England definitely score a goal. If you'll can keep a clean sheet, you'll make it into the quarters because Harry Kane is going to score for you. So, that's my take on that.
Yeah, I hope so. I hope it's just easy, like clean sailing. I know I literally said that the last game. I said, I don't care what the score is. I hope it's just a clean, easy 2-0. We move to the next round, right? And that's also because my heart can't take it. When we're losing and I'm just like, oh, bloody hell, like just get the job done. You know what I mean? Like you were, Mo, yesterday with Egypt. It's just like, I don't care about penalties. I just want us to go through the next round and move on. But like it has helped that we came from behind and we can show that we come from behind. Because England of old, there's countless amount of times if we go a goal behind, you may as well just end the game. Even though the opposition scored in the 20th minute, you may as well end the game because you'll never come back. We've done it countless times now. Losing to Netherlands, we end up beating them in the 90. Losing to Slovakia, we end up beating them with an overhead kick from Jude Bellingham. Now, losing to Congo, end up beating them. Against Denmark, we went 1-0 down, ended up beating them, right? This England team is different. This England team is truly different. And if you talk about performances, yeah, we're not the best. But if you talk about who's going to get the result, I think that's where England go, move out the way, boys. Like, we're here, right?
Yeah.
If you say,
that's what you have to give to them. Yeah.
but results, I'm saying England, bro. Like, that's where it'll come in. And ultimately, it's a results-based business. And obviously, I'm hoping England go all the way. That's like my big hope. But yeah, we will see. But this will be a really big game, especially before a potential game against Brazil, and then a potential game against Colombia, and then a potential game against France. It doesn't get any easier.
Yeah.
So we got to just get through.
You know how I was talking about Netherlands and saying this is the year of the runners up, running up, right? Obviously, Netherlands are now gone. England have built up a reputation, especially on international tournaments lately, being runners up. Does the year England run up as well and claim the World Cup?
Inshallah, bro. I would love it. I would love it if last year last year we go to the MetLife Stadium in New York as a Chelsea fan. Nobody backs Chelsea to beat Paris Saint-Germain, and we dunk on the heads 3-0. I would love it if 12 months later, Donald Trump, Gianni Infantino are again in the stadium as Hamza's team, this time national team, England, go up and pick up the trophy, and Reece James is holding it and lifts it up for England. What I would do for that, oh my God, if that happens,
the best
got too many Arsenal players on the team.
I don't give a shit about. I don't care, bro. Me and Arsenal are like this now. We're like this. Genuinely, I don't care. If we win the World Cup, lads, if we look at it like this, right? I understand Egypt and South Africa. Like, it'll be. I'm not trying to be disrespectful, but it'd be a bit more of a pipe dream to see them win a World Cup, right? Not trying to be disrespectful. I've always thought, like, randomly, like, if I'm 25 now, I'll be 26 next week. If I win it at 26 or if I win it at 76, I hope one time in my life England win the World Cup. And I'm not sure if that dream will ever come true, bro. If that comes true in 2 weeks' time, honestly, I will think, like, even though I had no effect on it, I'll think, oh my God, like, we achieved a dream that I never thought was possible. Like, I'd never thought when England went out to Iceland in 2016 that England winning the World Cup would be possible. So to see that, bro, and inshallah I'll be in London at the time. Inshallah I'll be celebrating with everybody of every color from every nation in London, bro. Like, that will be a moment I'll never forget in my life. And I hope Thomas Tuchel can just get the job done. I'll forget about Cole Palmer. I'll forget about no Trent. I'll forget about no Morgan Gibbs-White. Just bring that trophy home, please. Bring it home.
Yeah. And on that note, we can only wait and see on Monday, 2 a.m. South African, 1 a.m. UK, and 3 a.m. Kuwait has in store for us. Thanks so much for joining us today on this episode of Prem de la Creme. The round of 32 is done. The round of 16 has begun. Canada losing to Morocco 3-0. Paraguay going to take on France within the next 10 minutes. And Brazil, Norway also later tonight. Tomorrow night, Sunday evening. So yeah, make sure you guys stay tuned. We're going to not have a show tomorrow, but we will have a show on Monday. So yeah, everybody keep your notifications on. Follow us on all of our socials. We got Citizen Mo down there. We got Prem de la Creme. That is the main one. I've been your host, the Corner Flag. Signing off for now. See you guys.
See you guys on Monday after the Portugal-Spain game. So after Portugal-Spain, get your asses over here. It will be myself, it will be Nawaz, and it will be... Sorry, let me just real quick tell them who's going to be on what. Oh, it will be... I can't find it. Where is it? I can't find it. But me and Nawaz will definitely be on there. Who else is on there? I'm not 100% sure. Oh, here it is. Who will be on that show? It will be Amak, Uzi, Hamza, and Nawaz. It will be the OG4. That's who it will be. So make sure you're here on Monday to see Uzi's tears as Cristiano Ronaldo gets a bounce from the World Cup. Oh my God. I think I deserve. I Lamine Yamal. Ego Yamal. For those who know.
Let's wait and see. See you guys.